Good afternoon, Chairperson. Good afternoon, colleagues. Chairperson, this one is for the Minister. On the 29th of January, you said if President Ramaphosa had to issue a warning to the Rwandan forces, stating that hostilities against the South African National Defence Force would be considered a declaration of war, then the catastrophe could have been averted. Are you saying that the President neglected his duty by not sending that warning to the Rwandan President and their forces? Then also, General, we deploy our young men and women, our soldiers, into Africa to go and do peacekeeping. And, so besides giving them guns, we have some very sophisticated weapons. There's the Oryx transport helicopter, can hold up to 19 people. Get them out of danger situations very quickly. Did we have that? Then there's the Roy Falk attack helicopter. And obviously, we know there's no peacekeeping mission. They're fighting M23 rebels. They're at war there. There's no peacekeeping there. People are attacking them, killing them. And we've got at least 8 out of the 46 Roy Falk attack helicopters that still work, General. And then there's some very sophisticated drone equipment, the Seeker 400, designed to perform tactical reconnaissance and surveillance in threat situations. We're sending people to war. Do we provide the air cover, the equipment, so that they can fight that war? Then there's also the Cheetah C-RAM. It's a counter-rocket artillery and mortar C-RAM system. Detects and destroys incoming threats. Had we sent these things, this equipment, we could very well have saved the lives of our young men there. But we didn't. We sent them there to die. We fed them to the wolves because we didn't give them what they need to go and do the job. There's no peacekeeping there. There's a war there. M23, don't ask, are you at war with us? You're a threat to them. So why didn't we send these things? Why didn't we send this equipment, this sophisticated equipment that we spend millions of rands, billions of rands? We give them now billions of rands to develop stuff, but we don't use it. We sell it. That guy sleeping over there, next to you, General.
Please wrap up, Honorable Member.
He's in defense, he's sleeping. Thank you very much, Chairperson. He was sleeping.
Thank you.
You see why our people get killed there? You sleep.
Your speaking time is over. Please proceed.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, we all know that these fightings are to get to the actual mineral wealth within that area. And we all know the forces involved. It's a long-standing war coming on. The vocabulary they use now of a peacekeeping is contradicted by statements that speaks about peace enforcement. Now, if you enforce peace, in other words, you want to enforce something that is not there, obviously you must use the strong arm tactics, resulting then in a subsequent war. Now, it would appear that President Paul Kagame is hell-bent to expose South Africa as being involved in the heart of this war. He said yesterday on CNN He said the people who are benefiting from minerals in Congo more than anybody else are South Africa and these Europeans who are making noise about it. That's the first point. We want to know why then is it that South Africa finds itself for so long in that area while the Congo is a member of the East Africa community surrounded by powerful armies like your Kenya, your Ugandans, and all those type of armies, even Rwanda, that's got powerful. What are we doing there? What are we protecting? Are we using our boys, our soldiers, to protect the business interests of powerful, prominent South Africans? Are we using people, are we hell-bent to send them to their death to protect the mineral wealth that prominent figures protect in that area for their own benefits? That's a question. That's a serious question, central to this entire argument, because it is senseless. We don't understand why we are sending troops for peacekeeping and it results into war and our boys are dying. Secondly, the distortion, Chairperson, of the hoisting or the raising of the white flag that we've all seen on social media and in media reports. We all know, we are not fools. We know if you hoist a white flag, you do surrender. Yes, you do surrender. It's in a war. You cannot raise a white flag just to say, oh, we are here. Or come fetch your weapons here, as has been said. It is a token of surrender. It brings us to the point that we ask, are our soldiers effectively and efficiently armed for the type of combat that they are involved? Then the answer is no. If the answer is yes, 14 of our guys would not have died. The answer is yes, they are not adequately armed, trained, and equipped. And this is why they have died at the hands of those guys, of those gangsters, and those that are hell-bent to get us out there. Last question, Chairperson. Is the fact that I want to know why is it that South Africa must always play a big brother in the entire Africa? Yes, we are a powerful nation, we have a powerful economy, and we have powerful interests all over here. But why is it that we must always play big brother if there are capable and competent armies all over? We, Chairperson, in closing, speak on behalf of the nation and we say we are disappointed, disgusted in what has happened there. We express our condolences, our sympathies towards the families of the bereaved. We trust that God, through His Holy Spirit, will comfort the bereaved and their children. But we demand here this afternoon that we say an in-depth investigation must happen, and we must get to the bottom of this. And if people are not capable to lead military missions or even political missions, then heads must roll. It is inevitable that the political office overseeing this, they cannot account. We've seen here now this afternoon, the reports coming out. They cannot account. We will demand that heads must roll. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, just as an aside, not all white people look the same and think the same. It happened to have been Mr. Chris Hartett, my colleague here, who asked you that the chair should not speak for 20 minutes. But I did happen to agree with that because we as members should have the right to have enough time to speak. But in seriousness, Chair, I'm holding here in my hands a file which contains the reports, the legacy reports, since 2015 of what had been told to the chief of the South African National Defence Force, also the current chief's predecessor, and the various ministers, that the SANDF is not in a position to carry out an offensive mandate in any country in Africa, that the SANDF is collapsing. Now, it's taken a year for the chief of the South African National Defence Force, General Mponya, to come to our committee. We've asked many times, he never dignified us with his presence. it had to take 14 of our SANDF soldiers to die for him to come here. We told the Minister of Defence and Military Veterans, the SANDF is collapsing. We cannot carry out an offensive mission in the DRC. Here are my 3 questions. Why are you Minister? And why is the President lying to us about the nature of the operation that we have in the DRC? It is not a peacekeeping mission. It is an offensive mission, and it is defined as such by the SADC. Therefore, you knew that our soldiers were going to be shot at, and you knew that you're sending our young men into the DRC to die in the killing fields of the DRC. You did not have the ammunition, you did not have the supplies, you do not have the money to have sent them, but you sent them to die for the mineral wealth that is being looked after, the mines that are being looked after, that belongs to Cyril Ramaphosa, his family, and his friends. On all sides, we have a defense of the mineral wealth rather than for the people of the DRC. That is my first question. My second question, Minister, and the Chief of the South African National Defence Force. When are you going to bring our soldiers back? Are you bringing them back now? And explain to us how you are going to bring them back. And my third question, why do you disrespect us? And why do you disrespect the South African nation with this pitiful little report that contains hardly any information, that doesn't address the issues that needed to be addressed here this afternoon? Stop disrespecting us. And lastly, when are you Minister?
Are you pointing your finger?
No, I'm just pointing to the Minister. Okay, let me leave my hands down. When are you Minister? You get threatened easily, Minister. When are you Minister? And when are you Chief of the South African National Defence Force resigning? You should resign today. And when are the rest of your generals who were playing golf at Copperleaf while our soldiers were dying? When are they going to resign? Those are my questions. I expect answers.
There is a
Thank
point
you.
of order. There is a point of order. Point of order, yes.
What is the point?
Chair,
One earns
we
respect. One
cannot
doesn't
allow a
demand
member
respect, Minister. Your
Honorable,
behavior
pointing
doesn't earn
someone.
respect.
No. Chair, don't allow this.
honorable members,
Because we're able to point others also.
we started the meeting by agreeing that the issue we are here to discuss is non-partisan. Secondly, we agreed that we are going to conduct ourselves in a manner that behoves a country that has lost 14 soldiers. I suggest that we continue to do that in honor of our men who died in the DRC. And so I suggest that we conduct ourselves in that fashion, that the President, this meeting is a meeting on behalf of Parliament. The protocols of respect that Parliament confers on each member still apply here. And so the President must still remain the President, Mr. Ramaphosa, or Honorable President or Honorable Ramaphosa, so that we don't raise tempers unnecessarily. It then doesn't assist us to get the answers that we are looking for. Honorable Hattie.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. Let's get this out of the way. The only person in this meeting who initially referred to the fact that this is a peacekeeping mission is a minister. Now, we all know it's not. The peacekeeping portion of the narrative that goes out is to appease the nation. What did the president order? He ordered to support and assist the government of the DRC in its effort to neutralize illegal armed groups and negative forces in the conflicted areas of the DRC, thereby ultimately restoring peace and security. Ultimately. The order is to go down, hunt down, kill and disarm these people. That's offensive. So I would like to know who advised the minister that this is a peacekeeping mission. And I suppose the president in signing this order was also advised the same. So I would like to know that in the light of our ill-preparedness for what we had to face in the DRC, no air support, no close air support, very limited logistical support, very limited medical support, and that's why we sit in this situation where we are today. So I would like to know, I would like to get some comment on the lack of our resources, our support that we have exposed our soldiers to in the DRC, and then also who advised the minister and the president that this is a peacekeeping mission, or did it arrive, did it grow somewhere, was born somewhere in a smoke-filled room? I don't know. I would like to get an answer. Secondly, the vague report about the United Nations, MONUSCO will negotiate the repatriation of the deceased. We certainly, Chairperson, we certainly cannot live with that in this committee. We are surrounded by M23. We are in an area controlled by the M23. We are limited to our bases. We cannot go out there with arms. We are, in fact, hostages in an area. We cannot get to our soldiers. We cannot resupply them. We cannot get in there with any air support, nothing. We rely on M23, and we have to thank them for water and food. And for them, we have to thank them for not retaliate for us killing so many of them, our brave soldiers. So I want to know, what is the plan? We can't ask the Secretary General of the United Nations to come and explain to us how will our deceased will be repatriated, what will happen to our wounded, what will happen with our personnel? We're surrounded. What will happen to the equipment? Have we lost equipment to M23? And what is the plan? And then we can't say we are negotiating with United Nations or MONUSCO. It's happening today, and we need to know. So timelines, when will it happen? And then a question that comes up and of very concerned families, what is the situation with the deceased? Are they properly cared for until they will be repatriated? South Africa needs answers on that. Then the root, let's address perhaps in this session also the root problem. And I don't believe that the minister was informed or the president was informed. What is the root cause of our problem? Chair, that is over more than a decade, the defunding of the SANDF. We don't maintain our equipment, we don't preserve them, we don't modernize, we sell the old equipment. Our equipment that we have to use, and when we mobilize, sit in stores without proper preservation. It cannot be used, they are rusting away. We save, because we have to pay this massive salary being defunded, we cut corners. We cut corners in training. We have brave soldiers, the best in Africa. We have them. In October, in the infantry school where we trained leaders, there was no diesel and no ammunition. The leaders had to dig trenches. So I would like to know, was the president and minister informed that we are not this heavyweight in Africa anymore? that we are not the tiger of Africa anymore. That in fact, we have become a paperweight, if in boxing terms.
Thank
We
you.
have become a paper tiger. Was the minister and the president
Thank
informed
you.
that we don't have the capacity anymore?
Thank you,
Chair.
Honorable Hattie. And no, Honorable Member, can we also not point fingers?
The